What's up guys? So today you join me from the driver's seat of a 2002 S15. This is a Spec R. I'm starting this video right next to one of the most beautiful B roads we have on the Isle of Wight. And I want to take you through this car, the driving experience, because this is Carl's car. He's only just bought it. It's Carl's and his girlfriend's car. They've only literally just bought it. So the spec list, I'm not going to lie, is a little bit vague. They haven't actually had the time to really go through the car, only, you know, as much as you can when buying a car. This one is, although relatively standard, I think, has had a lot done to it. It's got the HKS full exhaust system, a titanium exhaust system. It's had a intercooler put on the front of it. It's had a bit of a tweak in there. It's running about 14.3 psi of boost. So, you know, ballpark figures of brake horsepower. I'm not going to claim anything because this is the internet. You shouldn't claim brake horsepower figures. But it definitely gets a lick on from the standard SRs I've driven. Feels a lot more powerful than a standard car. Now I'm going to try and find... Oh, this boost is fantastic. Now I'm going to try and find a really good road for this one. I want to sort of explain to you guys exactly why they have bought this car. Now, their previous car to this, literally up until last week, was a GT86. Really, really cool car. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to actually shoot it for the channel, but here's where it gets interesting for me. They had the GT86, were very happy with it, but they kept on looking at S15s, and reality is they're the same sort of ballpark figure at the moment. Wouldn't you agree? And that sort of says a lot from my end with, you know, prices and what you can actually get. The GT86 is a great car. It's, you know, a newer version of these cars, I'd say, but it's just funny that they like the GT86. They're really interested. They like it so much, but it's missing something. And although I haven't really had time to get acquainted with a GT86 yet, I can completely see why you would go and buy an S15 or any S body after having a GT86, or even while you're looking at a GT86, go and drive one of these and realise what they were like back in, you know, 02, this one being an 02 model. So let's talk about the driving experience of these, because that's why you're probably going to buy one, is that, the feel of boost, the feel of excitement. Now, I always genuinely think these are very lively from the factory. You put a bit more brake horsepower through them, you're going to get a lively rear end, which is a bloody cool thing, I think. Just like that. Oh, this one absolutely flies. Now, I'm not going to compare it to any other S bodies that I've sort of been in, because I don't really know, you know, the background in modifications for this, but the surge of power is fantastic on this one. Really, really gets going. Doesn't mess about when it's on boost either. Very, very compliant car. Yeah, so the power side is there with this one especially. Boosts very, very well. It's comes on not instantly. You still get a build of boost. You will do in any SR, you know, any S body, in my opinion, if you haven't sort of really gone to the lengths to bring the boost down in the rev. Sort of comes on about 3,500–4,000 revs on this one. You know, I like my 13s especially. Pop-up headlights are, you know, the coolest thing ever. But you do jump in one of these S15s and you're suddenly reminded that this is the newest version of that. Although, you know, relatively old now, don't get me wrong, it's still quite a refined interior in this. You can get very acquainted to it quite quickly, like you do with a new car. The SR20 engine, you know, turbocharged, with this one having a 6-speed manual transmission. It's the best one you can go for at the end of the day, as well as the Spec R sort of outside with the aero kit. This means it's got, you know, more spats. It's got a sort of a girthier sort of look to it from the factory. And if you are looking at an S15, I think that's probably the one to go for. So guys, let's have a quick look round this S15. Now, this being the Spec R, means it's got quite a couple of cool little bits and bobs. And with the aero kit as well, I'm going to point out a couple of them. You've got this aggressive front bumper with the black sort of splitter going across the bottom. I love the look of the front of these. It's all sort of drifty. Does that make sense? There's more pockets, there's more sort of excitement going on at the front end. This little pocket here as well, vent going in, quite like that with the swoop in front. The headlights as well, coming up, they're blacked out with the Sylvia logo just there at the side. Do like the look of it quite a lot. Coming down to the side skirts, again, I think it's a standard feature on these with this sort of bigger side skirt with more depth just at the back there. Spec logo just towards the back of the car there. The wheels on it at the moment I think are involts. I think they are. Leave me a comment if I'm wrong, but they were, you know, changed very quickly from the standard ones, just to give the car a bit more of a better look for the shoot. Coming around the back, you have these quite cool looking spats to go with the aero kit as well going on each side. Just kicks the bottom out a little bit, gives it a bit more of a exciting look. Again, the S15 spoiler with 3 sort of pylon bits to keep it on the boot with the light in the middle there. Really cool sort of funky feature at the back of the car. Got the HKS full system as well on this, and the number plate S15 Babe. That's just such a cool number plate. Really big fan of how the S15 sort of looks from this angle. Loving the rear lights sort of come down with the standard spoiler, swooping sort of coupe looks, and then the sort of defining lines going down the side of the car like that, sort of bring it out a little bit. As a standard car, the design is so beautiful, and it sort of captures the S-body sort of looks, but in a sort of contemporary shell, I think. Although this is, you know, O2 plate, the last of the sort of S-bodies that came out, I think they did a really good job at sort of capturing a newer age but in an older style. That's why I like these so much. They just look, you know, contemporary looking, but you've still got that S-body finesse that I've grown to like over the years coming inside. You have again a contemporary looking sort of inside of this S-body chassis with the dash sort of going around with the 3 air vents at the front, swooping down. These have fantastic armrests as well. Really comfortable car. These seats are really comfortable. It's a comfortable environment to be in, although you've got this sort of S-body platform that goes with it. This one as well has, you know, all the electrics down this side. You've got folding mirrors, electric mirrors this side. It's a really nice place to be. That's what I can't sort of stress enough on video, is just when you're sat in these and you're actually driving them, they've just got such a good feel to them. And coming onto the bonnet, you have the SR20 turbocharged 2-litre engine. This one has a J's Performance intercooler on the front of it, standard turbo. Has a titanium manifold going into the full HKS exhaust system. And that is about as much as I know about this car. Unfortunately, this has just been bought. This is a car that's literally just been bought, so we don't actually know the specifics to this car. It's still going to go on the dyno. It still needs to be really checked over and see what parts we don't know about. So when that comes, I'll do an update review and an update as to what has happened with the car. It will be changing quite a lot, but as it is in this platform, in this sort of moment in time, it's just beautiful to drive. It's a relatively unmolested version. I think that's the biggest thing. Unmolested versions of these are really hard to find, and there's one right here, and it is a bloody pleasure to drive. Now, if you are looking for an S15, here's a couple of things that I myself would look out for if I'm going to buy one. Just look for rust. That's the biggest thing. Coming from, you know, Japan, they're usually, you know, pretty good condition if you're going to pay out for a good one. But the cheaper end of the market ones, you know, are going to be a little bit more worse for wear. So just check the normal places, you know, under the doors, you know, around the strut towers, bits and bobs. Obviously there is other places that you want to check as well, but just check the car over thoroughly. Now, most of these unfortunately have had quite an exciting life before they have actually come to the UK. So just check for damage as well, is what I'd say. If they are modified, you know, check the modifications, make sure they have been done in a good light, and if they haven't, factor that into the price and make sure you get it checked. Make sure you check it yourself. Make sure you know, change that modification in any way, you don't know what the life was like for these back then. In my opinion, this one has had a very, very good life. It's not too molested. It seems to drive track, you know, in the condition of the car seems to be so good. So if you are willing to buy one of these, just check overall conditions, I'd say. Driving feel, let's touch on driving feel. Direction of the steering is very, very light, very, very quick as well. The steering rack in these, I think, is quite quick. Makes great for drifting. Makes it also great for B-roading as well. You know, you got to remember, these aren't just, you know, thrashed completely all day long sideways round a track. If you do want to use these as a fun little car that you can take round certain roads, you know, twisty bends, S-bends, all that sort of good stuff. Don't get me wrong, you still have to not worry, but be very cautious about that rear end coming out. But it's just such a light chassis. It feels so good to sort of be in. The driving feel, it's so light, it's so nimble, you're able to tip it in. Coming up to a corner and you can blip down a little bit, back end comes round a bit, into second again. Oh, it's so much fun. It's the lightweight, not aggressive, very comfortable way of having a lot of fun. That gearbox as well, the notchiness of the standard gearbox. You can just grab these by the nuts and just have fun with them, and that's such an enjoyable experience. It's light on its feet, it's got the power there, it's got the stability as well, and you don't have to go and thrash it around a track to get what you want out of these. You can just go and use it happily around any, you know, fancy B-road that you like. Just go and enjoy it that way as well. It's just such a good experience, these cars. If you haven't ever jumped into an S-body, or you have an S-body, good on you for having one. They're such good cars. It's a symphony of Japanese excitement, and it's trying to capture that on film is quite hard, because these are really so good. Especially this one, it's really comfortable. It's just everything you want in an S-body, and that's probably one of the best things for me. On that note, guys, I'd love to thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Head over to fydapparel.com, cop yourself some FYD merch. I'm gonna go and enjoy this S15. Honestly, I am in love with S-bodies again, big time. See you later, guys. Oh.